You're 24 hours away from a hard frost. I'm in zone 4. So I'm going to take some cuttings of my Coleus to save into overwinter. Works pretty well. So I'm going to try to take towards the end of them. So I'm going to take, it's a pretty good piece. I'll take that, I'll strip these lower branches off. It's solid. It will actually do really well. Just going to take a bunch of them, cut them back. And everywhere where there's these little leaflets coming out, I'll take that off there, and that's where the new leaves will emerge. So it'll be really kind of nice, actually. Take some more cuttings. I have a bucket of water close by here. Just want to get these things all cut back. And I'll just let the frost come and take the rest of this and just take it out, and then I'll start over next year. As I had mentioned, I'm outside on the front porch. I'm prepping because we have a hard frost coming. I'm going to continue making cuttings of some of the foliage I already have. Out here, I should have pruned the flowers off earlier, but I got busy like everybody else trying to get everything else done. So I'll take those off now. I don't need those. And I'll throw them in my compost bin. And this is just a different variety of Coleus. I picked it because I had some other plants that had kind of the magenta look to it as well. Just take a bunch of cuttings. Take those flower heads off. Just leave them on the ground for now. I'll strip the lower leaves as well, and we'll take it from there. I'll let them root up, and then they will do a wonderful job. So I have one bucket here of one I did a little bit ago. Again, I'm just going to take the lower leaves off, and everywhere where there's a junction or there's a node, that's where it will send roots out. I'll re-prune it once I get it in the house. Right now, I'm just scrambling to get as much done as possible because that frost is coming. So I can put sheets over for a while to try to get it to extend the season, but I'm kind of at the end of the garden season. I still have a lot of other things to get done, so I'm going to forego trying to keep it alive to the first frost, and we're just going to keep a bouquets of some of this foliage, which is kind of beautiful too, and it's very autumnal. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be potting up some Coleus. Coleus is just a magnificent outdoor plant in the summer in pots. I've grown it for several years, and then at the end of season I like to take cuttings, bring it in for the winter, and then I can take it back out and reuse it. It's a good way to save money, and they're just really quite beautiful. So about a month ago I took some cuttings. I think I have some B-roll I'll put in there, and I put these in water, and you can see from the jar, you can see just how many roots that I already have. I mean, they're crazy. They're crazy. And so it's time to get them potted up. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I have several different colors. So I'll get set up here, and then we'll get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up my potting medium. I'm going to use regular Miracle-Gro potting soil, and I'm going to add additional perlite. I'd like about a 50-50 ratio. So let's see if I can get that going here. So here is, I'm going to use about 2 scoops of this. I have, wearing a mask for this is probably advised if you have a lot of dust flying around. So I'm just going to, it's going to be a crude measuring way of doing it. So 2 scoops of this peat moss in there. I'm sorry. I'm going to put 2 scoops of the Miracle-Gro potting soil in here. So I've got both of them in there, and then I'm just going to mix them by hand. And again, I'm looking for a well-draining, chunky mix is what I'm looking for. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my pots with this potting mix. So I'm just going to scoop it up in here. So I'll scoop it in here, where you can see. And this is really loose, so I really won't need a dibble to make holes or room for it. So I'll start with this lime green variety. Again, the roots are crazy. Those are crazy roots on there. Look, 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 look. And I'm just going to separate 3 of these, I think, for now. Very, very well rooted. Again, like only a month is all it took. I'm just going to make room. I'll take some of the potting medium out. So I got about half full. And I'm going to set it like that. I'll put all of them in. And then I will backfill. So I'm just going to push them in lightly. I'm just going to push them in lightly and then I'll backfill. Sometimes I like just kind of tap it down. And then this potting mix is very dry, so it's going to take a little bit to hydrate it, which is fine. So basically I'm going to put 3 per container. I have got tons of cuttings. Probably give some away. So there's 1. I'll do another one. It's just a beautiful autumn day outside. It's going to be like 60 some degrees, which I'm in zone 4, so that's pretty unheard of. So in the spring, these things should take off really good over the winter, and they'll probably be huge. So I could break them apart in the spring, or I could take cuttings again in the spring and try to get even more. So on this next variety, which is a nice burgundy color, I have some flowers on there, and I'm going to cut those off because when you have root development going on, you don't want it competing with seed development. So I'll simply prune that off. Everything else looks pretty good, so on this one, call that good. And then I'll just get another 6-inch pot. How many cuttings I got, but you can see, look at the roots on those. I mean, they're crazy. They're crazy too. Crazy roots. Normally I would do this in the house, but it's such a nice day. I thought I would come outside to do this and show everybody. These are a little long and leggy. I would have preferred that they were a little bit shorter, but it'll be fine. I'll just shove them to the bottom of the pot. See, shove them all the way down, and I will backfill with more potting mix. Like that. I have lots of different varieties or lots of different color combinations, and again, you can see these two together are just phenomenal. And I've recycled this over and over again. I'll put some B-roll in showing what it looked like when it was planted on my front porch. This is just such an easy thing to do. It's a great way to save some money. All right, I'm going to try to finish some of these up. I got some just beautiful colored coleus, and that's what's just really nice about the coleus, is because they come in so many different colors. So I'll pot this orange one up a little bit. Again, I'll look for where I have, look at the roots. Probably could have done this a little while ago. So I am going to take Probably some of the smaller ones. See how this is big and branched? I probably will set that aside. You don't have to pot these up either. I mean, you could certainly leave this. You could certainly leave this in water all winter. Just keep it. Make sure they're hydrated, and then come back around and do the potting and go directly into the soil in the spring too, as long as it's sheltered and you harden them off. So there's lots of ways to do this, but this one here is just a magnificent color. I'm just going to pull these little seed heads off there, get the growth spurt off. I'm probably going to take a couple of these other very large leaves off. Again, I'll put that in my compost, but it's really rooted quite a ways on this one, so I'm going to cut this in half. But and my pot just isn't that deep, so again I'll push it in and I'll backfill it. Some of these I'm probably going to leave. I'm probably going to leave some of these in the water vase, just kind of as a backup plan in case something goes wrong. One of the things that you can have problems with when you bring outdoor plants in is spider mites. What I like to do is spray my plants with isopropyl alcohol. You can get a 70% solution or a 90%. It doesn't matter, either one. I put it in a spray bottle and I spray all of the foliage and the soil. It helps to kill little critters. And don't worry about it being rubbing alcohol thinking it's going to kill the plant. It evaporates almost immediately. But what it does do is any insect that it comes in contact with, or mite, as it's spider mite, it will kill it. And I use it on my house plants and it works really well. Here's an example of a variety that did not want to root. I don't know why, it just didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant it directly. I'm going to take the seed head off. I'm going to recut it. I am not going to let it, I'm not going to try to root it in water because you really don't have to. And I am going to go directly into the pot. Again, every place where there was leaves is where the roots will come from. So I'm going to cut right below. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to cut right below this leaf node, and the roots should come from there. I'm going to remove, because I don't have any roots on there at all, I'm going to remove these couple bottom leaves. I'm just going to leave the top one. And then I am just going to go directly in. I'm going to do that with all of this. This is a really nice variety. It was a little different one. This was a gift I got from someone. Could put rooting hormone on, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do this as a trial. Again, I'm going to cut it right below this leaf node here. And then I'm going to remove these bottom leaves, as you can see. And I'm going to pinch off the growth point, and I'm going to stick it right in the soil. Little potted thing. Same procedure, just remove these bottom leaves, take off the growth point, and stick it in the soil. I don't know why this variety didn't want to root, but it didn't. I think the tube itself was hollow where I had it, and this one's solid, so this is probably more of that reason than anything else. But I'm just gonna stick them all in there. See if I can get them to come back. Take that growth point off. Shove them in there, and then I'm gonna backfill it with some soil. So this is a fun project. Again, it's a good one to do with children. I really think it's easy, and I suggest that you give it a try. Let me know in the comments if you've done this before or what your technique is. I need to go get some water now. So thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.